What it do, y'all? It's your boy Big J, host of the JJL Sports Talk Show. I am back, better than ever. Welcome back to this is season 3, episode 2 of the show. A lot has been going on in the sports world. But first of all, I hope all is well with everyone. I'm gonna wait a little bit for people to get to the comments. I'm gonna let people know I'm live. Let me just make that post. Give me 1 second, y'all. Make sure you want to let people know I'm in there. Give me 1 second, y'all. Make sure you want to let people know I'm in there. Give me 1 second, y'all. Make sure you want to let people know I'm in there. But I hope everyone's doing good though. The MLB season started yesterday, opening day. A lot of teams played. Mets played. The Yankees won their game against the Milwaukee Brewers. They got a 3-game series with them going on. I think the second game is today. Austin Wells had a walk-off or a lead-off home run. The first catcher to ever do that. That's part of the Yankee the Yankee organization. Let me just share. Give me share. But yeah, let's I know people who've been following sports, especially the NBA, in that category. Have been following the LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith feud? I think it's hilarious how they are just going back and forth. And last night I was actually on just trying to see where this all started, this whole feud with LeBron and Stephen A. So if you don't know who LeBron is probably the best player of all time, behind Michael Jordan, or you can even make a debate. He's probably the best over Jordan. And then you got Stephen A. Smith, a popular ESPN personality who has his show First Take. He's been with several personalities, Max Kellerman, Mad Dog Wednesday, Shannon Sharp now, and then Molly Quirm. And then he has a separate podcast he does on the side called the Stephen A. Smith Show. But Stephen A. has been known to speak his mind. He was from Winston-Salem. That's where he went to school at. That's his alma mater. But he was raised in New York, so he's not afraid to speak out. And prior to this encounter with LeBron the other week, I don't think LeBron and Stephen A. have ever crossed paths as far as this confrontation. I know Stephen A. has previously talked about LeBron obviously, on the sports show. He's debated about him a lot over the past, couple years. But so if y'all haven't seen the video, I think it was March, beginning of March. I think it was a Laker home game, and there was a clip where LeBron got in. I think it was like before the fourth quarter, or I think after the game, where and Stephen A was courtside. LeBron kind of, I mean, whoever took the video, you can't really. It's not close enough to hear the audio, but you can kind of listen to or watch LeBron's mouth of what he's trying to say. Um, but even before this encounter happened, it all started when um, the NBA draft, when Bronny James, LeBron's son, first son, Bronny James, got drafted to LA Lakers. Now, not just Stephen A. Smith, other sports personalities have criticized. I mean, obviously, with being the greatest basketball player of all time, son, there comes with strict criticism. Um, I mean, shortly we're going to see that in college football with Archie Manning, Peyton Manning's son, um, and so being the son of a still current active player takes it's gonna take some heat. So the issue was that a lot of people think that Bronny is not NBA ready yet. He's still young. And then with any person who's drafted that's not really in the first round or like lottery picks, they are expected to go to the G League, which is so what the G League is each NBA team has. It's kind of like baseball. Baseball has the professional teams like the MLB, the major leagues. Then you have AAA, Double A, Single A. Um, basically like the development league. So that's what the G League is. So each team has like an affiliate. Like so, Lakers, their team is the South Bay Lakers. And that's where Bronny plays. So I think only on away games, JJ Redick has him playing those games. And then home games he plays, which I feel like he should stay in one. Like I think Redick should have Bronny play in one league. Obviously, NBA is there's players. The speed of the game is not the same as in the G League, but so a lot of people, not just Stephen A lot of people across the sports realm were thinking, it's LeBron's son. That's why he got drafted so early at pick 55. They think that other players should have been worthy of that spot, but since it's LeBron's son, he got drafted. Which I think that even from the jump when Bronny got drafted, I personally thought that Bronny, because obviously he had that heart issue that at USC, so we didn't really see him play because he missed the whole season due to that the incident. But even I think that Bronny, he's still young, yes. Um, can he be a superstar? Can he be a star in the league in the future? Yes. And we've seen flashes of him, on the court with LeBron, and we've seen I think he had like 17 points against the Bucks the other night. So clearly we've seen him, do good, and then he bounces back from the NBA games to the G League games, and which is as you get more, that's what anything you do, like more practice is like more reps, more like you get better. So last night I was looking at an article, kind of seeing where this feud is coming from. It was from NBC News. Was written by Rohan Nandakandi. This was written or published on March 27, 2025. So I'm gonna read a little bit of how this all started with Stephen A. and LeBron James. And I mean, before I even read this, I had a feeling that if it wasn't this year coming up or like before LeBron retires, I mean, Stephen A. and LeBron had to have cross paths. I mean, they never did a show together. They never did a podcast together. I don't think LeBron has ever interviewed him like after games. So this is the very first ever encounter with LeBron and Stephen A. So let me pull that article up for y'all. Actually, let me read a little bit of it. Let me pull that up for y'all. Let me see. Share screen. Yes, like I said, it's an article from NBC News. LeBron James, ESPN Stephen A. Smith continue feud over NBA media coverage. So, verbatim from Rohan, the artist. Los Angeles Lakers star LeBron James and ESPN commentator Stephen A. Smith escalated their war of words that began earlier this month when James confronted Smith during a Lakers game over Smith's coverage of his son. James, appearing on ESPN's The Pat McAfee Show, which was the other day, criticized Smith for making it personal attacks as opposed to discussing on-court play when talking about the NBA, and also accused him for exploiting their conversation for personal gain. So there's several layers to this whole feud. The back and forth began on March 6th when James sought out Smith for an animated conversation before the fourth quarter of the Los Angeles Lakers win over the Knicks, with both sides since confirming the conversation centered on Smith's coverage of James' son, Bronny James, whom Lakers drafted with the 55th pick last June. So like I said, like how the article is saying right now, Smith, he has been highly critical of Bronny James. I mean, I don't think he ever disrespected Bronny James, and I don't think he said he's a bad player. I think over the time he said that, he's just not yet developed to be an NBA star. And the article says Smith had been critical, and this article does a beautiful job of like illustrating the back and forth between LeBron and Stephen A. and breaking down the layers and layers of this confrontation. Smith had been critical of Bronny James earlier this season, saying in late January that the younger James belonged in the developmental league, the G League, and not the NBA. And I quote LeBron. Oh no, Stephen A. said, "I am pleading with LeBron James as a father. Stop this." On First Take, we all know that LeBron James is the NBA is in it because of his dad. And then the article later says that LeBron James hinted at his frustration with the media in late February, criticizing talking heads such as Smith when asked about a question about who should be the face of the league. And then LeBron said after that, I think on February 28th, why do you want to be the face of the league when all the people that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis crap on everybody? James told reporters. A few days later, James would confront Smith in person. If y'all want to, I think the video is all over social media of LeBron confronting Smith. A few days later, James would confront Stephen A. Smith in action. Smith, who discussed the conversation on several platforms, would describe that as a week. That's what Stephen A. Smith says it was a week. Then on Wednesday, which was a couple of days ago, he joined the Pat McAfee Show, which Pat McAfee is a part of ESPN. Talks about a lot of sports, and he dives in. He brings on guests to his show, and he brought in probably the most biggest guest of all time, LeBron James, onto the show. James said Smith used the in-person confrontation for more intention, claiming the ESPNer was on a Taylor Swift tour run of discussing the incident. So, and I quote this from LeBron James, what he said, he completely missed the whole point. The whole point, James said of Smith. We never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport and criticize players about what they do. That's their job, to criticize or to be in a position where if the guy's not performing, that's all part of the game. But when you take it and get personal with it, it's my job not to only protect my damn household, but protect the players. So let me just break down that paragraph. So, I mean, I was at work when the live show happened, but watching the highlights of what he said, I mean, LeBron didn't say anything really disrespectful in that paragraph or that quote. What he was saying was that, I mean, hey, Jordan gets criticized still. I mean, obviously for the greater the good, but when you're in the upper echelon of pro sports, like Michael Jordan at the time. Not yet. When like the upper echelon levels of pro sports. I'm talking about like the elite levels, like LeBron James or Michael Jordan at the time, Magic Johnson. Yeah, these analysts are paid to criticize to an extent a player's how he plays. I mean, what would be the point of a sports broadcaster or a sports analytics person or analyst? Um, what's the point of that job if they're not doing their job? So what LeBron is saying is that he doesn't really have an issue with people like Stephen A. Smith or I hate to bring up his name, Skip Bayless, which I don't even listen to anymore. They have the right to do their job, to critique people. If they're not playing well, yeah, call them out. Say they're doing bad. But I think LeBron James, what he's doing is crossing a line with, criticism. Like when you're attacking, especially Bronny James, because he said that even in the paragraph and like in the article, he said, stop it. The only reason why he's in the league is because of you, LeBron. And that's kind of a shot at Bronny. Like, yeah, he has the best trainer in the world on his side as his dad, LeBron James, and he probably has all the the resources and money and all that to get his body right, just like LeBron. Yeah, he has that in his corner, which most people don't have that luxury of having a dad that's an all-time great in the sport. But what LeBron is doing is obviously he has to defend his son. Obviously Stephen A. Smith has criticized the Lakers prior to Luka Doncic coming to getting sent to the team. But it's a fine line where you don't bring up family or and that's where LeBron comes in and says it's my job to not only protect my damn household but protect my players. And then Stephen A. and then what else happened? Stephen A. Smith. Yeah, LeBron said he's on a and the whole issue is that with this whole confrontation that happened after the Knicks game, like Stephen A. and he's all over Twitter and on his podcast and just kind of stretching the story out for more than what it is. That's why Stephen A. said he's on a Taylor Swift tour run right now. So it's not the fact that yeah, you could critique somebody. You can tell them that they're not doing good at that time, but don't don't go on social media or on your show, especially First Take or like ESPN where it's nationally televised, and say, oh, you're only in the draft or you're only getting drafted to Lakers because of your dad. Which I mean, yeah, he got drafted to Lakers. LeBron's on the team. Obviously, LeBron's agent, Rich Paul, kind of helped. He's doing his job as Bronny's agent, and landing him at that on that team. But I think Stephen A. is poking the wrong bear here because you don't want to poke something you can't defend on, because Stephen A. he can talk all he wants and everything, but I think he crossed the line with LeBron James, in my opinion. So Smith, so after this whole Pat McAfee show, after Pat McAfee invited LeBron on, obviously Stephen A. defended himself. I just want to say for the record, this is and I quote from Stephen A. Smith. I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. He said on his podcast. He also claimed that he would have tried to punch James if the basketball player had touched him during their face-to-face in Los Angeles. And then on First Take, he still nags on and says he continues to lie to the world about what I said and who I was pointing the finger at. To regurgitate an obvious point, when I talked about Bronny James earlier in the season, I highlighted the fact that at that particular moment in time, it simply was not ready. I was calling out LeBron James. He also added, I suggested that he be happy with the things that I haven't brought up. I never brought up really and never really discussed why you were not at Kobe Bryant's memorial service. I really never brought up or discussed why you did not attend Dwayne Wade Hall of Fame induction when that man was directly responsible for capturing a championship for the first time in your career. And then Smith later clarified, which I had to tweet, and then I'll put up. Smith later clarified, as was reported at the time, James did attend Bryant's memorial service, but was not shown on camera. Amid all the back and forth, and James is still performing his duties as a basketball player. This article really, shines a light on the whole feud. But and then I'm gonna pull up the tweet. Let me stop sharing this and pull up the tweet about so this was posted on March 27th, yesterday. Backtracking his statement made about LeBron not being at Kobe's service. My apologies and clarification. I misspoke an hour and one of First Take today when I intimated that LeBron did not attend Kobe Bryant's memorial. I corrected myself in hour two when I acknowledged he was indeed in attendance. My mistake. Should not have been broached that subject. It was not my main point. Retract nothing else that I said. Have a nice day. I mean, man, Stephen A., my brother, you a grown man, bro. You said what you had to say. The thing happened. The confrontation happened. Let it go, man. There's no need to just go back and forth with a dead horse, man. Like, just let it go, man. And then I feel like he's like a little kid. Like, I feel like a situation where how a kid gets caught, and then he gets caught, and then he has to defend himself, and he's all in his feelings. This is what Stephen A. Smith's doing, man. He's saying lies, saying that LeBron wasn't at Kobe's service when he was, just saying like irrelevant stuff about LeBron and everything. Just let it go, man. Just let it go. LeBron's down in the league. He's still producing good numbers. He's a good player. Just, there's a certain point in time where you just have to let things go and let things die out. Because LeBron, clearly he ain't happy right now. Like, he don't, shoot. Like I said, like they never really had an encounter before this whole, LeBron's, facing Stephen A. After the Knicks game. That's like their first ever encounter ever that I've seen in person. And then like going on your podcast and saying that it's he would have laid hand on the end, like I would have punched him. Like, come on, Stephen A. Like, you a grown ass man, brother. Like, let it go, man. Let it go. But it's okay to, but like going back to LeBron's point, like I don't have any problem with Stephen A. Like, like criticizing the Lakers or even LeBron or Bronny to an extent. I think that, and personally, in my opinion, I think Bronny, give him maybe the rest of this year, maybe maybe give him another year in the G League, or maybe have a season in the G League, and maybe he can be, I mean, like we already see Bronny James, have sparks of points, and I mean, like he has good defense. He has a good shot, a good form. Uh, and then in, in a couple of years, I mean, Bryce James is gonna be in the league, so um, I mean, so is Stephen A gonna criticize Bryce when he gets in the league? I mean, LeBron is kind of setting up his kids for the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, giving him the opportunity to play. I mean, obviously, before the season started, um, LeBron and JJ had a podcast together. But I mean, I feel like that to what LeBron's saying, he had the right to defend his family. He had the right to defend the Lakers. If something is not being said fairly in the media, I mean, obviously LeBron is gonna defend that. Um, Now, I mean, LeBron. I mean, I feel like I don't think this is a distraction for him because I think they're sitting like 4 or 5 in the West in the play, or I think they're three. I think they're three. Let me check ESPN. I think they're 3 or 4 in the standings in the West. Um, I know they dropped a couple games last night. I think they lost to the Bulls off of like a game-winning shot from Giddy. But I mean, LeBron is he said a lot of Pat Beck. Let me see what else he said. Uh, I mean, he hit a lot of topics on the Pat McAfee show. Oh, James. Let me see. Let me see. But if y'all are watching, if y'all have any comments, let me know. Like any comments about the Stephen A. Smith LeBron encounter. Let me know if y'all have any like any comments about that. Let's see. Trying to find like a transcript of what he said. These Pat McAfee. Oh, LeBron needs a beer in the bath. Perfect. This is the article. This is a CBS Sports article. So on this article breaks down from Jasmine Win Winbish. This is published on March 26th, 2025. This is a breakdown of like the what LeBron topics, what he hit on during the show. Another thing that had people going was the LeBron jokes about Giannis dominating in the 70s. One of the silliest arguments that always surfaces today is comparing this current era of players to years past. The conversation usually goes one of two ways. Either people say the guys from today couldn't play in the past eras due to how physical it was, or that guys today would completely dominate the stars from the past. Consider LeBron in the camp of that latter. So LeBron came on the show and said that that you're trying to tell me Giannis wouldn't be able to play in the NBA game in the 70s? James said Giannis would have 250 points in the game in the 70s. And that's no disrespect, but seriously, Kyrie Irving, they would have told Kyrie you're not allowed to dribble anymore. I mean, all right. So, I mean, obviously, the way LeBron was how he presented it on the show. I mean, if you think about it, like if you're talking about the 70s, I mean, I can't. Let me go. Let me look at who was playing the 70s. Let me just go Google Chrome. So you had so in the 70s you had NBA players best decade edition. So I'm gonna go to the Bleacher Report. So if you're talking about players from the 70s, we talking about Wes Unseld. He was a 6'7" big man. John Havlicek, Elvin Hayes, Bob McAdoo, Walt Frazier, Bob Lanier, and then you got Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I mean, so those are only a sample size of what those players were like in the 70s. So, I mean, from what LeBron, how he said it, it may have seemed like a joke, but think about it. Like, yes, in the 70s, 80s, 90s, that era of basketball was rough as far as, the physicality of the game, where, if you can check people like without it being a foul. But I mean, clearly the game has changed over time as far as skill. It's still physical to an extent, but I mean, maybe he's talking about the 250 points that Giannis will put up. Because obviously we all know Wilt Chamberlain was the one who put up 100 points in the game. But I mean, I feel like, Giannis, I mean, this current Giannis, I would have to agree with LeBron. Giannis, I mean, but then again, like this whole statement, it's like it's just a fantasy because I mean, obviously, the 70s are over. We're in like the 21st century, so we'll never see these players play. But I mean, I feel like Giannis could hold his own. These select few players that I listed, that I said, Bob Lanier, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and I'm not saying these people are trash at all. I'm just saying that like these are favorable matchups that Giannis could take. I mean, 6'7" big. I mean, the average big now is like what in the current NBA is like what 6'11", 7 foot and up. At the time, was Unseld or no? Oh wait, then you got some other ones. Chet. So at 10, you got Chet Walker. It was 6'6" guard forward. Bob Dandridge, like he was 6'6" guard, combo guard. Dave Cohen's 6'9" big man. I mean, you're telling me Giannis can't back down a 6'9" big man? Like, come on now. Then you got Wes Unseld, was a career Bullet, winning the NBA championship with the Washington Bullets. In '78, he was awarded the Finals MVP for his performance. The 6'7" big man was not much of a scorer, never averaging more than 16 points per game in his career. However, he was one of the best rebounders to ever play the game. Unseld finished in the top 5 for rebounds per game 6 times during the decade. So you tell me that Giannis can't put more than 10 on sale. Then you have John Havlicek. He was a 6'5" guard forward for the Celtics during most of the 60s and 70s. Helping him to win 8 NBA championships during his career. During the 70s, Havlicek was one of the most dangerous scorers in the game. He averaged between 23 and 29 points per game. So back in the day, when you talk about 70s and 80s, 90s basketball, so now like the modern day basketball is more like positionless basketball, meaning that you have centers and power forwards bringing the ball up, dribble moves, where 70s, 90s era, you didn't really have a skilled big man as far as a Giannis type or Jokic type, where a center can play like a point guard. You had actually position basketball where, just like Unseld, he never really scored, but his only specialty was getting rebounds and defending. Kind of like the modern day Draymond Green. He can score a little bit, but he was more known for passing the ball, getting rebounds, and defending. So, I mean, with that debate with the whole Giannis, can he play well in the 70s or 80s? It's kind of hard because are we talking about Giannis playing in that era with those roles, with that physicality, or are we mixing the new modern day NBA style with the 70s, where if I touch you with a finger, it's a foul. So I mean that's another question. But if we're just basing off the pure 70s, 80s physicality, I mean I think Giannis could fare well. I mean that was only a handful of people. I said Wes Unseld, John, Alvin Hayes, who was a 6'9", rebounding threat, played for the Bullets. Bob Megadoo. He was more in the 80s. Walt Frazier, the best pure guard. I mean, Giannis probably wouldn't even be guarding Walt Frazier. He was a guard. But I mean, maybe he was talking about the 250 points he was scoring a game, but he's just showing the fact that Giannis could score a lot against these players in the 70s. And what else did LeBron say? And then LeBron, of course, he said that I would be able to play in any era. If you hear some of those older guys like LeBron James couldn't play in this era. And then he touched base with Michael Jordan as far as so LeBron has always been very open about the impact Jordan had on his life and how he saw him as an inspiration growing up. He wears number 23 jersey because of Jordan, to which he reiterated that's a fact on the McAfee show, but the two aren't super close. James hopes that changes when he's done playing. We're in a good spot, James said. He said they don't talk, and when asked why the Lakers started things, it's because he's still playing. I'm still playing, still focused on my craft right now. James went on to compare his relationship with Kobe Bryant. Me and Kobe never had a real relationship either until we were on the Olympic team. He had a great relationship there, but it wasn't always competitive between us until I became a Laker and he retired. That's when our friendship or relationship became really, really good. I think it's because I'm still playing, and we all know MJ is one of the most ruthless competitors there is. Until I'm done, and he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23. And every time my name is mentioned with his, he's like, I don't want to even talk to you. And then he touched base on being the face of the league. James was talked about this recently as he emphasized with Timberwolves young star Anthony Edwards, who dismissed the idea of being the next face of the league. Why do you want to be the face of the league when all the people that cover our game and talk about our game on a day-to-day basis shit on us every day? to have that responsibility is just weird. It's weird energy. On Wednesday, James talked about the topic more and now or in how that responsibility was placed on him. I never had that notion. This is, and I quote from LeBron James on the Pat McAfee show. I never had the notion that I was the face of the league, but I did know there was a high responsibility put on me to carry the league in a certain fashion. I wanted to handle the responsibility of showing a face of the league of a modern citizen being a role model. We have guys who didn't want to be a role model in the sport. They don't want to appreciate the game or commit to the game. I felt like I had an opportunity to not only play the game that I love, but also I wanted fans to follow me. I wanted people to follow my journey. What came out of that was me being the face of the league. What other points are you talking about? I think that's. But yeah, this whole yeah, I mean, like LeBron said a lot on the Pat McAfee show. And then like if y'all haven't tuned in, if y'all haven't tuned into that to the show, I definitely recommend tuning in on that. He said a lot about like Jordan, the Stephen A. feud, and then he brought up the analyst Brian Windhorst. So apparently, I mean, they kind of Brian has been a big supporter of LeBron, has covered him, but LeBron said that they not friends. And let me look into that because I know he said something about Brian. So this is on NBA Bleacher Report. Let me share this. Let me stop sharing this real quick. Stop screen. So also on the Pat McAfee show, LeBron again mentioned the media. He said, and I quote, "I think there are times when the media is out of balance, and I encourage NBA players to hold the media accountable when they can, as long as they're okay with being held accountable by the media." Or that's what LeBron said, or like when Hort said. No, my bad. That was when Hort's response. My bad. Let me save that. I mean, I might just show the clip. Yeah, I'm gonna show the clip, y'all. Better show the clip, y'all. Hold up. Screen. Let me reload the page real quick.
See a lot of shit too. Like I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like
Wendy.
Yeah, you played over high school.
Wendy, you guys played together in high school.
Yeah,
right? He was on your high school
this
team.
guy was like, says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys are just weird. But
LeBron is funny, man. Let me see the clip. Let me show y'all a clip of him on the Brian when there was or on Pat McAfee talking about Stephen A. Because this whole feud is this. Yeah, LeBron is funny, man. LeBron is hilarious. And then I just want to play Stephen A's response to that. It's funny. Oh, it's hilarious. One second, y'all. I'm gonna pull that up real quick for y'all. Oh, where was? You stop sharing this real quick, man. LeBron is funny, man. Here we go. Oh, where is Stephen A's response, man? Where is that response? You know what? One second, y'all. All right, let me see. All right, this is perfect timing. Right here, bosses.
You over the digital airways of YouTube and, of course, iHeartRadio. As always, I'd like to take a moment to thank my subscribers and followers over the last 23 months or so. Millions of downloads courtesy of iHeartRadio, not to mention 1.15 million subscribers we've accumulated over that same period of time as well. Can't thank y'all for the love and support enough. I truly appreciate it. I wouldn't be.
They've been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh yeah, we're watching it. Yep. We're all seeing it.
Oh yeah,
we're all. You're seeing it as well.
He literally. It started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it, but since the video came out, I feel the need to address it. But when you take it and you get personal with it,
I hope at some point you two do get a chance.
Yeah,
but you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Relax.
Tidy Whitey's comment was funny because I don't wear tidy Whiteys. Let you figure out why that is. But moving on from that particular subject, I don't happen to consider anything that LeBron has said a laughing matter. So y'all wanted me to be serious, I'll be serious. And I know there's some people out there that's going to be like, oh, I'm milking the story for all it's worth. Well, I've been winning in television for quite some time. I don't need an incident like this to talk about LeBron, and I don't need an incident like this to get ratings. LeBron gives us plenty of ammunition to talk about him, both good and bad. So let's get that out the way first. Let's also get out the way that major props to Pat McAfee for getting that interview. There's a lot of people that's been texting me, and he's a teammate. He's on ESPN. Why would he do that? Please, y'all, be quiet. Pat McAfee did nothing wrong. Pat McAfee did his job. Pat McAfee has a show that airs on ESPN. You have an opportunity to get LeBron James. You take him. I don't give a damn who you are. This is one of the greatest players in the history of basketball. You get him. If you have an opportunity to get him, you get him. And I didn't think that Pat McAfee disrespected me or did me wrong in any way. He did his job, and I got no problems with it. My issue is with LeBron James. And I just want to say for the record, LeBron James is full of it. And in this particular instance, as it pertains to his son, he is a liar. And he went on national television today and he lied again. You see, when he approached me while I was sitting courtside at that game against the New York Knicks, when he rolled up on me, I didn't know he was going to roll up on me.
LeBron,
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But when he said
that is
what
hilarious,
he had to say, I was in no position to give any kind of retort without making a scene. It was during the third quarter. It was fresh out of a timeout. It was him walking to the basketball court. It was on national television. The cameras were rolling.
Oh man, this whole thing is this whole thing is like, because like I'm a Laker fan, I'm a LeBron fan as well, and I like Stephen A. Smith. It reminds me of like the whole Kendrick Lamar like Drake beef. Like you like both artists, but when they feud, you hate one or the other. And like Stephen A. is just, sometimes I feel like he stretches, and he just said he doesn't need to stretch it out for like views or like popularity. But like, I mean, the way he's still nagging on Twitter and making posts and just, I mean, LeBron said what he had to say. I mean, yeah, Stephen A can come back and fire it back, but it's like there's no point of just dragging it out. But this whole thing where he said like LeBron is like oh, he's gonna be happy and all this and whitey tighties, like Stephen A was like I don't wear whitey tighties. That's hilarious. This whole feud is like this. It's what the sports world needs right now. Like this whole feud. Let me keep on playing a little bit of it, man.
And had I done something, what do y'all want me to do? You want me to act? You want this to be a reincarnation of Chris Rock and Will Smith? And let me state for the record that while we bring up that, let me assure you it wouldn't have gone down like that. I would have gotten my ass kicked because had that man put his hands on me, I would have immediately swung on him. Immediately. That I'm not going to tolerate. But I knew he wasn't going to do something like that. There was no fear in my mind about it. It was shock. Because as I have repeatedly stated, I was not talking about his son. I was talking about him. And whether it's the video that you saw him a couple of days later after that incident when he was talking to Richard Jefferson, my colleague at ESPN, before an ABC game in Boston when it got blown out that night by the Celtics. Or in the aftermath of it, including Pat McAfee's show, when he talked about me getting personal and taking it beyond basketball, I'm getting to a point where I'm getting very annoyed at people who cover the game of basketball, who cover professional sports, pundits out there, including him, his inner circle, his family members, and everybody else included. When are y'all going to ask him or hold him accountable for the truth? I have not been talking about Bronny James. I have not, as LeBron James accused me of doing to my face, been shitting on his son. I clapped back at D Wade and Melo, two brothers I love dearly, when they were talking about this, even though 99% of the stuff they said was right. It was not clapping back at his son. Your second round pick, 55th overall. There's been plenty of second round picks that have to work their way up through the ranks before getting to the pro level. Me pointing that out about his son and talking about how his son has been pushed to the forefront, thereby put in a line of fire for folks in the media to come at him, is not denigrating his son. It's simply highlighting what we all knew, which is that he's not ready yet. But based on what we've seen from Bronny recently, there are indications that he will be. And as LeBron James pointed out on the Pat McAfee show today, it's probably sooner than later because his growth and his maturation from just a year ago has happened by leaps and bounds. Nothing but respect and appreciation. Wishing Bron.
Yeah. So that's, I mean, if y'all want to like dive into the whole Stephen A. LeBron, you know, later on you can. That's just a couple clips that I showed, you know, of, you know, the feud and everything. And then let me and then before I end the show, I'm gonna do a an NFL or NBA grid. What is this one? Oh yeah, the immaculate grid, the immaculate. All right, it's gonna be a hard one. Let me pull this up for y'all. So this is like the immaculate sports grid, the NBA edition. So we have the 76ers and Mavs. It's either as a player who play for both teams. Same thing for the 76ers and Hornets. And then Cavaliers, Mavs, and then Cavs, Hornets. And then you have to name 76 Same Sixer who had 5+ assists per game. Rockets, same thing. And then Cleveland, same thing. So let me see. So a player who played for both. Wasn't it Steph Curry? That's 15%. Right to Hornets. Ooh. Kelly Oubre? Yeah. And the 76 who scored, who had 5 assists. So Rockets, Mavs. Rockets, Mavs. Rockets, crisp. I mean, this is probably a popular one. What? Rockets, Mavs. All right. Maurice Cheeks. I had to Google that one. I think Harden didn't Harden have? That's a high one. And this might be a popular one too. 44%, yeah. No brainer. Okay, Rockets map. I thought he played for the Rockets and Mavs. 3%, damn. Okay. I had a feeling he played because I know he coached in the NBA. Rockets, Hornets, who played? He did, yeah. Wow. Oh, that's it. So, I'm trying to see who the popular ones were. Because you said they show a board. Let's do an NFL one. So same thing for the basketball for NFL. So it'll be a player who played for both the Rams and the Vikings, Rams and Patriots, Packers and Vikings, Browns and Vikings, Rams, Patriots who play for both, Packers, Patriots, and then Browns, Patriots, and who from LA had 1,000+ rushing yard season. Green Bay, 1,000, and then Browns. And then the point of the game is the lowest percentage gives you the highest score. So let's see. I don't know any of these players, but let me see. %. Wow. Rams, Patriots. .6%. I ain't gonna lie. I'm googling these the first couple. 0.6%. And 3%. Didn't Eddie Lacy? I got an 84. All right, y'all. So I just did the immaculate score or immaculate grid for the NBA and NFL. Yeah, but that concludes our show. That concludes the show for the day. If you haven't, subscribed to the channel, definitely do. I do have my podcast merch up, and I'll drop that link in the comments. Let me see. Did it do? I'll drop that in the comments real quick. I just posted that link to my podcast merch site, so we can order some shirts, some coffee mugs, some aluminum water bottles. Yeah. But if you haven't followed the page, please do. like and subscribe. Hit the post notifications on the channel so you know when I go live. And then if you want to follow the Instagram page, it's JJL Sports Talk Show on Instagram. Let me see if I can share that my profile. And then I'm gonna post my pod. This. Hold on. Here we go. I'm gonna post my Instagram page in the comments. So if you want to follow me, give me a follow. All right. Yeah, but that concludes today's show. Thanks for tuning in. And I'll be back in a couple of days. All right, y'all. Or have a good one.